Hello sweet family, welcome to Daphne's kitchen. Oh, she's here again. She's here again to trouble you, but in a good way. And today I'm going to teach you how I make my Moringa cake. Pause. Think about it. Moringa? Yes. If it's Daphne's kitchen, it's all about healthy recipes. I've got my ingredient laid out, but first, let me ask how you're doing. I hope you're keeping safe, adhering to the washing hand rule and social distancing. But above all, please stay at home if you can. Yes, that is very, very important. But in as much as you're staying at home, keep watching Daphne's Kitchen for the sumptuous recipes. So here I'm just going to go straight to the point and list out my ingredients, and then we can get started. So don't go anywhere. Don't shake your body. Just stay still and watch me go through this recipe. Thank you all. Let's get started. Here I pour in my semi-skimmed milk, 400 milliliters, into my jar. You can use any preferred milk of your choice, your soya milk, evaporated milk. And I'm adding 4 tablespoons of sugar. You can add more if you prefer, but I enjoy just a little sweetness, not too much. You know, you have to stay healthy. And a 1/4 teaspoon of salt to taste. You can add more if you prefer. And here I'm adding, I want that coconut, a little of that coconut cake, so I'm adding 1 tablespoon of coconut oil, and that is organic. You can add more if you prefer. So with this recipe you can adjust the ingredients and do it to your taste. And here I'm using Stork butter. If you don't have Stork butter, you can use your margarine. Please use whatever you have available. Do not worry if you don't have what we use. There are always substitutes available. So I am using 3.5 tablespoons of butter to my mixture, and I have just microwaved it just to melt the butter a bit. Please do not render your blender useless. It can replace any cake mixer or bread maker. So I've just poured this mixture into my blender, and I'm going to break my eggs. I've got 4 eggs. I'm going to break them into the milk mixture. And in order not to get the shell into your mixture, you must break your egg into a bowl before adding it to your mixture. Or in order not to add a spoiled egg to your mixture, you have to break your egg into a separate bowl before you add it to the mixture. It is very, very important. Please take note. So I'm doing this to all 4 of eggs until it is done. Yes, 4 eggs are perfect. And at this point I'm going to add my vanilla extract. You can use any vanilla essence. You can use in vanilla pod or any vanilla oil or substance you have for baking. So So please, if you don't get the extract, you can use the essence or you can use the pod. So I'm just going to blend this for 5 to 6 minutes just to mix and incorporate more air into the mixture, and this is it. Very, very simple. In my bowl, my mixing bowl, I've got my self-raising flour here. So I'm going to measure 500 grams of self-raising flour. And with this, because I want to incorporate air into my flour, I'm going to sieve it, and it's very important. Do this at all times to your flour when you're baking your cake or your pastries. It's very, very important. So I've added 200 grams. So in all, I've got 700 grams of flour. And that's my nutmeg. I'm going to grate a 1/4 teaspoon of my nutmeg into my flour. At this point, I'm putting my dry ingredients together, and then I can add my wet ingredients. So I'm going to grate a 1/4 teaspoon of nutmeg. That's important. And then I'll be adding, this is baking powder, but it's written in Dutch, yes. So this is simply just baking powder. So I'm adding 2 level teaspoons of baking powder to it. And afterwards, I'll be adding my wet ingredient, that's my mixture from my blender, into my dry ingredients, and then gently mix them up to mix them thoroughly. So you have to stir to break all the lumps in that, and then you get this consistency, this smooth butter consistency. This is the exact consistency. Yes, this is perfect now. Perfect for my cake. When you do this, your cake becomes very moist, not too dense. So at this point, I'm going to oil my pan. You can use butter, but I feel butter is a bit heavy, so I use my normal olive oil. If you have any oil available, any cooking oil available, you can use that. So I oil my pan and then set it aside, and then pour in my butter whenever I'm ready. So I'm just going to oil my pan and then sprinkle in some flour, and then I can pour in my butter and get it ready for the oven. So at this point, I'm going to divide my butter into 2 and pour it into my pan, and then we'll get to the stage where we'll mix it up with the moringa, as well as having the other one as our fruit cake. So I'm dividing the portions. So first, at the base, you pour in your normal butter mixture into your pan, and then set it aside and leave some of the butter in the mixing bowl. So at this point, I'm going to add my mixed fruits. You can add any fruit of your choice, either cranberry, either raisins, either sultanas, or whatever you prefer. So I prefer the mixed fruit, and I'm adding 100 grams to it. And this is the part where I add my moringa. So this is my moringa powder. I'm going to add 1 tablespoon full, and then another one if I need it. So I'm going to mix this thoroughly into the mixture, the leftover butter. Mix it well for the moringa to be distributed. At this point it has mixed very well, so I'm going to add this butter to the base, the normal butter I made, and then afterwards I can make my own simple design. You can just run a fork through it so that when your butter comes, or your cake or bread comes out, it has, when you cut it through, it brings out that kind of design. You can run a spoon through or a knife through, but I am using a spoon to design it. You can make it anyhow you want, not necessarily to distribute everything, but just to create a design in your cake or bread when it comes out. Yes, at this point it's ready to go into the oven, so I'm getting it ready. So voila, we've baked this for half an hour, 30 to 35 minutes. I just realized that I should have used just 1 teaspoon of baking powder, because it was already self-raising flour. So the next time I'm going to use just 1 teaspoon of baking powder. That's why there has been a big split at the top. So please take note, use just 1 tablespoonful of baking powder. And this came out divine, and it smells so good. Thank you all for watching. God bless you. Keep supporting Daphne's Kitchen, and please keep keeping safe. Adhere to the social distancing rule. Wash your hands, and I know God will do the rest. Thank you all for watching. If you haven't subscribed, please click the subscribe button and enjoy more of our recipes. Thank you all. Bye bye.